Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Friday to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. This is just a Friday night beer drinking live. Hold on. Tonight's beer of choice, Big Wave Golden Ale from Hawaii. It's great, by the way. What this is about is I want everybody to call in. There's a lot of people that are very big mad at Pete. That's an everyday thing on this YouTube channel. The two of the videos I posted yesterday, one about Kelly Bryant in Missouri, and the other one was just a mock draft. And for some reason, the mock draft got people big mad. And they love to leave comments and tell me how big mad they are and how much I suck. But it's a whole other thing to call in and tell me how much I suck. So please, if you're big mad at Pete about Missouri, Kelly Bryant, or anything else for that matter, call in and tell me why you're big mad. Let's see who's in the comment section, and then I'll go check and see if anybody's on the line here tonight. Dondre Crawford, and by the way, thank you, Dondre, coming through with a $1.99 super chat. That enters you into the super chat contest. I'll spot you the penny, sir. That gets you 2 entries. We have Hound Dog with 5 entries, Catfish with 20 entries, Billy Dawson with 10 entries, Tiger Nation with 5 entries, Alan V with 20 entries, and NASA CGI Snakes with 4 entries. That contest runs from now until March 1st. I'll do a live drawing on air when that's complete to see who wins that. Let's see who's in here. Clemson Carson, good afternoon to you, sir. College Football World, Tiger Nation, Nick Chesnikov, good afternoon to you, sir. The Crowing Cock has a lot to say. In fact, he has way too much to say. You're spamming, sir. NMD TV, my boy. I called into his show yesterday. What's up, NMD TV? Boilermakers Forever. He said he might call tonight. We'll see if he does. Melissa Stallings. I know her. I know her really well. Pete, I'm looking forward to this. Good. You should be, Melissa. You should be looking forward to everything that I say. You already know this. You've known me for, God, Melissa's known me probably for 20 years. Let's see. No, 25 years. So she knows what's up. Billy Dawson, my man, in the house. Dennis Wilson, my favorite Miami troll, in the house. Vodka drinker. Glad to see you here, sir. Good afternoon to you, sir. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. The Dondre Crawford, the number's on the screen, sir. The number is 855-902-9368. And I'm going to go ahead and check that right now and see who's calling, if there is anybody calling. We're about to find out, aren't we? No, nobody calling. So, and while I wait on somebody to call, we could talk about a couple things. Super Bowl parties. My favorite subject. So I posted a video earlier today. I gave my in-depth and very important thoughts on Super Bowl parties. Now, if you watch more than 5 minutes of that video, and if you haven't watched the video, what are you doing? Go watch it and give it a like too, or a dislike, or you can go on there and tell me how much you love Super Bowl parties and tell me how stupid I am. But I don't like Super Bowl parties. I love the food. I love the alcohol. But listening to a bunch of women in the background cackling about who Justin Bieber is dating and Lady Gaga's outfit on the Super Bowl halftime show, all of that to me is about as annoying as it gets. I'd rather sit on my couch, drink a beer, and watch the game without any interruption. I have enough interruptions as it is with kids. Let's see. I'm going to get to my first caller here. Looks like Dondre Crawford's calling in. Good afternoon, Dondre. You're on with Pete. How you doing, sir?
Yo, man. How you doing, Pete, man? I am so glad to finally talk to you. I hate missing your show. I'll be at work when your show come on a lot of times. And it's hard to find fellow Clemson fans out here. And I'm so glad for you and Bobby Dorkins. I love y'all dudes, man. Y'all the only two repping Clemson football, and I'm very thankful for that, man. I grew up a Clemson fan. My uncle played on the 1981 championship team, Craig Crawford. He was at fullback. I grew up loving Danny Ford, met him in plenty of times as a kid. And I'm thankful for your show. You know, all his little secret handshakes helped my family out a lot growing up. So even though I went to East Carolina, I still enjoy Clemson football.
Well, I appreciate that, man, because a lot, you know, you're one of the few Clemson fans that does like me, and most of the people that subscribe to me and watch me aren't Clemson fans. But I get in trouble sometimes when I say, "Oh, Clemson fans give me the hardest time," because that's not completely true. I mean, most of the Clemson fans that are viewers of mine, you know, show me a lot of love, like you. And you know, I'm sorry you can't catch every show or anything like that, but I do appreciate you. You're always been supportive. I mean, ever since I've been on YouTube, you've been one of the first ones, man. And you've been supportive. You always leave positive comments. And I'm just, you know, I'm just glad that I could give some sort of coverage to Clemson and the rest of college football that even one person enjoys. Now, if you don't mind me asking you a question, I don't want you to like advertise your address or nothing. But do you live in South Carolina?
No, I live in North Carolina, sir.
Okay.
Jeff McCall, who played with Clemson back in the 80s, he lived like maybe 5 minutes away from my house. He was the fullback on that team. And then Darnell Wolford lives down the street from me too, and Dwayne Allen and a couple other he was Chavis.
Wow.
Another guy played defensive end. A lot of Clemson ties around the Fayetteville area, man. People don't realize that. I would tell people that I went to high school with, y'all root for Florida State, but ain't none of those guys with the Clemson like some of the guys that we know coming up in this area. Eric McLean, recently history, Jack Britt High School, played offensive line. He went there as a tight end. Gibson, he transferred, was a safety. He transferred. He's from my area too. Big time Clemson fan, man.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of Clemson fans in the state of North Carolina. I mean, Clemson is
right.
It's only like less than 30 minutes from the North Carolina line, so that makes a lot of sense. So you say your grandfather played for Clemson?
No, my uncle.
Okay. All right, your uncle. What year was that?
81, the championship team.
Oh.
You look at the last touchdown against Wake Forest when they beat them 84. 24, something like that.
Yeah.
He scored the last touchdown. He was playing fullback. Then he got moved to defensive end. He got recruited as wide receiver. My uncle Dwayne Crawford was the number one player in the state. He was recruited by Clemson, but at that time he tore his ACL, and so they rescinded his offer. So like I said, Clemson.
So you got an actual championship ring in your family?
Yes, sir.
Now come on, man. Does it get any better than that? Now I got a room here. This room I'm sitting in, you can't see. You can only see what's behind me, on the wall here. And I'm sitting on this couch. But I got a whole room here dedicated with Clemson memorabilia all over this room. And if I could turn the camera around, I'd show everybody. But you can't see that. But one thing I don't have, and probably never will have, actually I know I won't have it unless one of my kids goes to Clemson and wins a national title, is a family member that's got a Clemson national title ring to put up in this room. So I'm jealous of you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love Clemson, man. Danny Ford, a great dude. I don't disrespect anything that dude did to help Clemson win and helped a lot of people out that was in property area. But, man, I got a quick question. I don't let you go because I know you got plenty of great callers calling in.
All right, what's up, man?
What do you think about Alabama making all these excuses?
Hey, you know what's a funny story? So it's funny you said that because I ignore most of that, especially like on Twitter and stuff. Anytime a team like Alabama, who's used to winning every year, and they got six national titles in the past 10 years, whatever it is, and you expect the backlash on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and all that. But I went to the grocery store tonight, like an hour before I got online tonight. I went to the grocery store right by my house to get some beer, right? And the guy, the what do you call him? The bag boy, but he was like 80. He wasn't a boy. He was like 80 years old. I had my Clemson. I had just this shirt on and a Clemson hat, and he's like, yeah, I see that shirt. He must have been an Alabama fan. Maybe he was a South Carolina fan. I don't know. He was like, yeah, that Alabama team that showed up that night, that wasn't Alabama. They're gonna be back next year. And I looked at him. I'm like, yeah, well, The team that did show up was Clemson's team, sir. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you're so butthurt, but go ahead and bag that beer for me. Thank you.
Right, and I bet a lot, but the first person, I ain't gonna say his name on your channel, guy. Y'all might be competing against each other, but there was a guy on YouTube. He called out Alabama. He's a Georgia fan, and he does a lot of breaking down films and stuff. He said that Tua was a one-read quarterback. He said people don't realize that. And what irks my nerves more than anything, I hate hearing how people always say SEC has elite defenses. And I'm not saying that they don't, but maybe the quarterback play is terrible. Outside of Tua and Fromm, if you want to put the guy from Missouri in there, there's no good quarterback play in the SEC. No. Maybe that's the reason why the SEC defenses are so good. And I cannot stand hearing from SEC. ACC week, ACC this, ACC that. Oh, Clemson played an easy schedule. We beat the best team in the SEC by 28 points. So what does that say about the SEC?
Well, here's the one thing I will say, though. I'll say that I do think that as a whole, there's probably more great defenses in the SEC than any other conference. But I think that close behind that, you have the Big Ten and the ACC. But you're right, though. There's not a lot of elite quarterback play in the SEC. There hasn't been for a long time. I mean, you can count on one hand the amount of elite quarterbacks that have come out of the SEC in the past, since the turn of the century. And some of those are like Cam Newton. I mean, he wasn't even really an SEC player. He started at Florida, but then he went to a JUCO, and then he played 1 year at Auburn. Matt Stafford, I guess you could put on that list. He's in the NFL. But really, you're right. There's not a whole lot of great quarterbacks in the SEC. If you look at the NFL right now, I posted something on Twitter a few weeks ago about this. There's more starting quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks in the ACC than any other conference in the NFL right now, starting. And that's just a fact.
Right.
And as far as the ACC being weak and Clemson's schedule is weak and all this and that, I mean, do your history, people. All you got to do is go back over the past decade and look at the SEC teams that Clemson's played, and they waxed all of them. Now, we lost to South Carolina 5 years in a row when Dabo was first there. But other than that, we beat Auburn. 4 out of 5 times? We beat LSU. We beat Texas A&M. We beat Georgia 1 out of 2 times. Georgia, we split that series with them. We beat Alabama twice now. I mean, you could put us in any conference. A great team's a great team, and it don't matter what conference you're in. Ohio State. I mean, I go down the list. They're not the SEC, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, people that are upset about Clemson being great, that's their problem. You know what I'm saying? That they're one of two things. They either don't follow college football closely, and they just read what people say about the ACC being weak, so Clemson obviously must have an easy road. Or number 2, they're one of the teams that got beat by Clemson, and that's that's the way it goes.
Yes, sir. You have a great night. Now keep on listening to the broadcast, man.
All right, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Now I know where to call in to.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Dondre Crawford, a longtime viewer. And I want to give everybody a public service announcement, because that is exactly how you make a phone call on the internet to a YouTube channel. You don't call in and say, lick my balls. You don't call in and stutter and over your words constantly. That's how you do it. You call in, you have a point, you make it, you have a conversation, and then the call ends. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. I know it's rocket science for some people out there. But thank you, Dondre. I got the hiccups. I just opened my first beer and I got hiccups already. All right, let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat here. The Crowing Cock says, I should call in. Yes, sir. You should call in. What are you waiting on? Go ahead. I promise I won't bite. Small Ball in the house. Good afternoon to you, sir. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic, but I already know that you are. Richard Neal, also in the house. What I'm waiting on to call is one of these guys that's been blowing my phone up for the past 48 hours about the NFL. Where's all the Missouri fans at that are big mad at Peete? Where's all the Denver Bronco fans and Baltimore Ravens fans who had a complete and utter mental meltdown because who I mock drafted, some guy, up in the loft of his house made a pick of who they're going to pick in the first round, and these guys got triggered and really pissed off. So please call in and tell me why you're pissed off, and tell me exactly what I did to piss you off so badly. And what can I do to make it better? Because I'm here to help you. I really do care about you. I promise I do. JMB98, some reason I can't call you. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to call me, sir. I mean, maybe you could pay your phone bill or dial it correctly. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Melissa Stallings in the house. She is a Patriots fan, and I say that loosely. What I really mean is that she's a Tom Brady fan. She's been wanting to have Tom Brady's child since probably about 1999 or 2000, whenever Tom Brady came in the league. But now, here's the funny thing about Melissa. The funny thing is that now that Tom Brady's 42, she's moved on to the younger studs, and she is now a fan of Travis Kelce, a much younger piece of meat. And so just like every other man who goes after a younger woman, she is now going after the younger man. She's abandoned Tom Brady, and she is now after Travis Kelce. Let's see if there's anybody on the line here. All right, so I got two callers on the line. NMT DTV, I'm gonna get to him first, and the next guy that you're on hold now, just wait a second, I'll get to you in a minute. Please hold, sir. But NMD TV, how you doing, sir? You're on with Pete.
Man, I'm doing good. I'm feeling great. I had to call in and give a shout out to my boy Dennis, and give a shout out to Hurricane Nation and say what's up to you guys.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. Anybody who doesn't know, this is NMD TV. He is a Miami Hurricanes football video maker, and I had the pleasure of calling in and speaking with him live on his show yesterday. So what's on your mind, man? What you want to talk about?
So last night, something crazy happened. We've been recruiting Chris Bogle, the defensive lineman from Florida, and he ended up coming out, or, sources broke that said that he's taken Alabama out of his top four, and he's putting Clemson in. And that kind of threw me for a wild card because Clemson was never mentioned, and I was wondering if you knew anything about Chris Bogle or anything about your pursuit of him.
I've heard the name, but I have not heard him mentioned as far as a Clemson prospect. So you're telling me something new right now that I haven't heard. What position does he play?
He plays defensive end, and he's a pretty good prospect. I mean, I think he'll need a little bit of weight added to him, but he had a good high school career. He's a 4-star recruit, and I just thought that was crazy that came out because it was originally Miami, Tennessee, and Alabama, Florida, and Miami, and then he just totally flipped it and then said, and Clemson's in the running, and I was like, what? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you should be surprised that a defensive end is in Clemson's running, if he's an elite player. But I see what you're saying,
right?
that he flipped late. But so is this one of those guys that's going to come down to the last day of signing period to announce where he's going? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I think he's visiting Miami this week, and he's gonna, I think, announce his on National Signing Day.
Okay. Yeah.
And go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was just, I've been, I love the show, man. Thank you for everything you do for college football. But what do you think is going to happen next year with Clemson? What is your prediction? Do you think y'all can go 15-0 again? Like, what is your expectations for next year after winning the championship this year?
That's a great question. So I never, no matter how much of a homer I am, and no matter how much I love my team and how confident I am in my team, I never, ever have predicted for my team to go undefeated. I never. And as a matter of fact, before this season started, I went on several other shows, Uncle Lou's show, Volunteer Road show, some of these other shows, Alonzo. And I told them, I said, I predicted a 1 loss because I think that's reasonable. It's very hard to go undefeated. Now, this year we had 3 teams that went undefeated, but that's very rare. We had Notre Dame, Alabama, and Clemson. The Georgia Tech fan the other night. And I told him, if Clemson gets through the first 3 games of their schedule, then I think they'll win the rest of them, because the first 3 games of the year are probably their toughest. Now, the first week is Georgia Tech, which Georgia Tech ain't no good, so I'm counting that as a win. But week 2, we got Texas A&M. That's in Clemson. And then the third week, we go to Syracuse. But other than that, so we get Florida State at home this year, and then NC State, Wake Forest, Louisville. I mean, all these other teams, I just don't see them having a chance against Clemson this year. So if we go 3-0, if we don't lose to A&M or we don't lose to Syracuse somehow in Syracuse, then I think that there's probably a pretty good chance that we will go undefeated going into the ACC title game.
Okay, and hopefully y'all will be playing for Miami, man. And I've been seeing a lot of Miami bashing on the YouTube. So I just want to put out the public service announcement that we are under a new coach. Things have changed, and I'm not saying that we're going to win the national championship. I'm not saying that the turnaround will be exactly next year, but we will be a force in the upcoming years, and we will be competitive. Last year was a disaster, and I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah, I look for Miami to get better. I really do. You guys were really disappointing this past year, but I think that the Manny Diaz hire was great. The biggest question mark is Nkosi Perry going to be, as good as everybody thought he was? And what's the deal with Tate Martell? Is he going to get a waiver or not? Do you know?
Right. And like you said, the conference and things will be better for us if we can get, Miami up there with Clemson, have the big Clemson versus Miami, but, we got a little ways to go, but we'll get there. But I appreciate you taking my call, Pete.
Thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing, brother.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. And I'm going to go ahead and take this next call, and it's hard for me to see what this guy's asking me. I'm calling about one of your recent locked-out videos. I don't have any locked-out videos, but good afternoon, sir. You're on with Pete. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man. How are you doing today?
How are you? Who am I speaking with?
I'm doing good. How are you? After seeing the recent mock, like how the 12th pick was Deontay Thompson to the Packers, I can't see them going another safety. Like I said in the comment, was like that's like the only thing they've drafted the last 5 out of the last 6 drafts.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think about that one, though?
So are you a Packers fan?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing, man. Trying to do a mock draft is extremely difficult. So, a lot of these players, I don't know, probably the 10 before and the 10 after that pick I made for that could have gone to the Packers. So it's all about who's left based on who I've picked. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah,
right.
And if I look at the Packers, and I don't know if you're one of the ones that got upset with me, but you may be, you may not. But the Packers, I feel like, have a lot of needs. I think they have offensive line needs.
Yeah.
I think they're probably okay at receiver, at least not to take a receiver in the first round. But I think they're first.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's sorry. Here.
I was going to say, I don't think that they're going to take a receiver in the first round or anything. But they need to shore up the offensive line, and I think they need to shore up the back end of the defense. But you're saying that they've taken a defensive back in the past 3 years or something?
Yeah, because if you look at the past couple drafts, it was Clinton Dix at safety. The next draft was Demarius Randall. Kenny Clark was the only one that wasn't a secondary player. And then it went to Kevin King, Jair Alexander, and Josh Jackson.
All right, so as far as a pass rush, because that's something else that the Packers need, right, is a pass rush. So according to
pass rush.
Yeah, a defensive end, most likely. So according to my mock draft, I already had the top 3 defensive ends in, at prospects going off the board before the Packers pick. So that just left me really no elite pass rusher to give them with the first pick. So that's why I went safety with that pick. Now it could be an interior lineman. I mean, who do you? Let me ask you this. This is more important because listen. I'm not an expert on the Packers. I don't claim to be. So you probably know the roster way better than I do. As a matter of fact, I'm sure that you do. Who do you think they're going to go after in the first round?
With the 12th pick, I could see him going Clelin Ferrell out of Clemson if he was still available, or Jacob Polite out of Florida. They should consider finding a guy to replace Clay Matthews and Nick Perry.
Okay. So Clelin Ferrell, I think, will probably be gone by then. But, hey, if Clelin Ferrell ends up going to the Packers, then you will have a new Packers fan right here in Pixie and Pete, because I follow all my Clemson players. And I told the story the other night is that I hate all the other teams other than the Carolina Panthers, just out of, it's natural to do that. But I pull for Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins and the Texans as long as they're not playing my Panthers. So, people like Clelin Ferrell and any of these other defensive linemen from Clemson, whether they go to Packers or anywhere else, I'll root for them as long as they're not playing my team, because I want to see them do well. You know what I mean?
Injury issues.
So you think that the Packers are taking a defensive end. And so let's say that Clelin Ferrell, Josh Allen, and Nick Bosa are all off the board like I predicted before the Packers pick. Then who do you think they would go after?
I could see him trading down for somebody else. Maybe it could be Brian Burns out of Florida State. I'm sorry.
Right.
He's got great arms, great size.
So do you see the Packers taking a receiver in any round, whether it's the second or third or fourth or fifth or whatever, late round?
Maybe a late rounder, yes. I could maybe see him sneaking in a tight end, maybe first, second round. I think it should be the second round.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna take your word for it, man. Again, I got a big reaction on that video, and I mean, there's so many there's so many different players and so many different teams. Like, if you even people like Mel Kiper and who's the other guy? I can't remember his name. So many different players. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. I mean, they get everything wrong, too. So, of course I'm going to be wrong. I made a joke and said I'm probably going to be wrong on probably 30 out of the 32 first picks. But I'm okay with that. So, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else you want to talk about?
You have a good day.
Thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
No, man, that's it.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. I got finished dinner, though, but you have a good day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. There you have it, folks. There's a you got to be kidding me right now. A small ball. I just clicked out of the call-in studio and came back into the YouTube. Small ball. You just sent me $100 super chat, sir. I honestly, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, thank you. I guess I'm at a loss for words, sir. And getting me to be at a loss for words is pretty hard to do, because I have diarrhea of the mouth and I'm a complete jerk off. 99% of my day. Wow. Anyway, Smallball says we're going 15-0. I promise you that. For all the people that are in the super chat contest, this is bad news for all of you. Because he has 100 entries into the contest now. Yeah, I'm really shocked at that. Thank you. I mean, the fact that anybody would even give me $1 ever just for broadcasting on YouTube blows my mind. But for people to come along like NASA CGI Snakes, Alan V, Tiger Nation, Billy Dawson, Catfish, Hound Dog, Dondre Crawford, and now Smallball to give me $100, I know. I don't know what to say. I really don't know. Other than thank you. Thank you. And I'm gonna send you something, sir. Whether you win the contest or not, I'm gonna send you something for that. I feel like I have to. I do have to. Let's see. Melissa Stallings. Melissa, I missed your comments because have you stalked Travis Kelce yet? Is that happening? Is it correct? I can probably get you his phone number. I have connections. Volunteer Roadshow says small ball's not winning the drawing. Well, you know what? I'm not going to just give it to him. I'm going to do a live drawing on the air where I pick a name out of a hat, and now I have to cut up hundreds of little pieces of paper to do that because of small ball. But it will be fair. I mean, listen, NASA CGI Snakes gave $4. He could win it. You know, it's the luck of the draw. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. So. So anybody else want to call in? I don't have anybody else calling in. I had a couple of people that said they were going to call in, but haven't called in yet. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. I'm not going to lie. I would never lie to you. Yeah, thanks again, Small Ball. Come on, man. You're the man. And by the way, before I move on to another subject, everybody check out, as soon as I get off here, I'm going to be getting off here at around right at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And at that time, Volunteer Roadshow, Catfish, my man, my number one homeboy on YouTube. I spend more time talking to Catfish as far as other video makers go than anybody. And it's not because I'm so amazing and he wants to talk to me. It's because he's so amazing. And there's a lot of different people that I can shout out, and I don't want to bore everybody with that have helped me out. Uncle Lou. I mean, I feel like I'm probably going to miss somebody, and so I apologize for that. But Catfish, this guy does everything in his power. Will spend 45 minutes to an hour on the phone with me while he's out there, trying to make money to help me out with my YouTube channel. And I don't know what to say. He's the man. He is the guy. He's my guy. So thank you, sir. What's up, college football maniac? How you doing, sir? Ryan Reedley in the house. I'm sure if you're here, you're amazing and fantastic. Otherwise, you would not be here. Danny Reeves. Hello to you, sir. Thank you for joining. Thank you. All right, I got a call here. I got two calls, so I'm going to take this one first, and the other, whoever the other guy is. Pac Sun. Wait for a second. I'm going to take this other call, and then I'm going to get to you in a second, okay? Good afternoon. You're on with Pigskin Pete. How you doing?
What's up, Pete? It's Small here, buddy. You're the best, and I'm happy to give you that $100. You definitely deserve it, and there's no need of you giving me anything, Pete. I mean, you're a wonderful YouTuber. You've done a lot for my channel, helping it grow, and the least I can do is give back. I'm a person who believes in giving back, and you definitely deserve it, my man.
Well, again, I really don't know how to, I can't thank you enough for that. But I am going to send you something. I'm going to send you something for sure. Whether you win the contest or not, I'm going to send you something because,
well, I mean, now that I have 100 entries, it's probably impossible for me to lose that contest. You never know.
Yeah, hey, listen, you never know.
You never know.
I'm fair. I'm going to do it live. I'm going to do it live on air. But it's Small Ball, man. I mean, listen.
And I'll be sure to be on for it.
All right, yeah, I'll let everybody know. It's going to be on the contest ends March 1st, so there's still a lot of time for people to surpass you. So you never know. You never know.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah, but anyway, I'll get with you off air, sir. I'm going to send you something. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right, man.
Well, like I said, I believe in giving time, and like I said, I'm a person that believes in giving back. So that's my gift to you, sir. go ahead and enjoy it. Take your family out to a nice diner or something like that. Give them some nice food. Do whatever you want with it. But that $100 is solely to you, my friend, and I hope you enjoy it. And we'll be talking soon, buddy.
Thank you. Don't tell my family about it, though. This is a secret. That's my money. All right, man. Thanks, Small Ball. All right, man.
All right, see ya. Bye.
Bye. All right, I'm going to take this next call. Good afternoon. You're on with Pete. How you doing?
Pete, it's Boilermakers Forever.
Hey, Boilermakers Forever. I've been waiting for you to call in, man. How you doing?
I've been doing good, man. So I have to question you about something.
Sure.
So on a recent live stream, you told me that Purdue would disappoint this year. What makes you think that?
I think you might be taking what I said a little bit out of context, though. So let's put it into context here. What I think what I said was I think that Purdue fans are going to be disappointed with Purdue. Not that Purdue is going to disappoint on a national level. So I mean,
8 wins based on what I'm seeing from our schedule right now.
Right, and so in my mind, 7 or 8 wins would be disappointing.
Well, I mean, we're still using Daryl Hazel recruits, so I don't know how many expectations you can have with how bad he was.
I feel like, though, and I might be completely off base with this. I feel like that a lot of Purdue fans, I mean, you had a great season this year, and that the whole thing that happened. What's that kid's name? Oh God, what's the kid's name?
Rondale Moore?
No, the kid with the cancer that just died. You know who I'm talking about. The fan. Anyway, I feel like that.
Tyler Trent?
Yes, Tyler Trent. Thank you. I feel like that with everything that happened with Ohio State and the great year that Purdue had, and the fact that Jeff Brom decided to stay at Purdue instead of going to his alma mater at Louisville. And I feel like that a lot of Purdue fans are on a sort of a high right now and expecting Purdue next year to maybe compete for the Big Ten and win the Big Ten. And when I say that I think it's going to be disappointing, what I'm saying is I don't think that Purdue's going to win the Big Ten. That's where I'm coming from with that,
Yeah, I get that because, we have the Penn State on the road next year. That's going to be a tough game. Right. The Big Ten, you never know how teams are going to look, especially like Wisconsin this year. Right. So I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but listen, if you guys go out and beat Ohio State again, you're not going to hear any complaints from Pixie and Pete. Now, I would also like you to go ahead and beat Michigan for me, too. While you're on the phone, I'm going to go ahead and make a Christmas list, all right? So here's Christmas list number 1. Wish number 1, Purdue beat Ohio State. That's number 1, so make that happen, please. Tell Santa. Number 2, Purdue beat Michigan. Please do that, too, so I can make sure that Michigan fans never live that one down. And then, if you can, I mean, I know that the beating Ohio State and Michigan is a very tall task and a lot to ask, but if you can find it in your Christmas list, go ahead and beat Penn State, too, and we'll just call it a wash. How about that?
All right. Let's see what we can do.
Thank you. I'm writing this down, by the way. I'm holding you to this. So you just promised me, live on air, that you're going to beat Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. Wait. Is Purdue not in the East?
Purdue's in the West.
Oh, see? Well, you just screwed my Christmas list up, sir. Yeah.
Well, we played Penn State this year, and depending on whoever makes the Big Ten championship game.
I don't know why. I knew Purdue was in the West. I don't know why I thought they were in the East. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe I was just hoping that you'd beat Ohio State every year. I don't know. So, but who's the player that you're most excited about seeing next year? Maybe a breakout player, or maybe a new recruit, or somebody like that for Purdue that you're looking forward to seeing the most.
It would have to be a local product. He's a 5 or 4-star, depending on where you look. George Karlaftis. He plays a defensive end, where we struggled this year. We didn't have much of a pass rush. And based on what I've seen, he looks like a very special player, so it should be very interesting to see how he plays Purdue this year.
Right. Can you give me your feelings on how do you think Nebraska is going to do this coming year, being that they are in the West and up and coming teams? Many people believe that they're an up and coming team in the Big Ten. How do you feel about Scott Frost in Nebraska?
I believe Nebraska's going to be pretty good, especially if you look at the recruiting rankings and all that this year. They've done a very good job. Obviously, Scott Frost coming in, that Nebraska team wasn't very good. Adrian Martinez is a special player, but he has pieces, but everywhere else it's iffy at best. So I think in a couple of years, Nebraska will probably be very good in the Big Ten.
Right. So what do you think as far as Nebraska goes as a record? What would you predict? Do you think they'll make a bowl game? Do you think they'll go 7 or 8 wins or maybe even more?
7 and 8 wins is probably what I see from Nebraska this year.
Okay. But you think that Purdue will still be better than – you think Purdue's going to beat Nebraska when they play?
Yeah, that game's played at home, so I think we should be able to beat them.
Okay. Well, I think Nebraska's up and coming. I don't know about next year, though. I still think Purdue – I agree with you. I think Purdue should still be a top 2 or 3 team in that division. So I agree with you there.
I don't see what Nebraska's schedule right now because, they probably could get 7 or 8 wins.
All right. Well, here's what I want you to do, man, because I'm doing these once a week. I didn't do one this week, but I'm still going to have fans from every team imaginable call in and do a recorded show, and we can talk more in depth about Purdue football. So I'll be in touch with you about doing that. I'm going to go ahead and take another call now, but I really appreciate you calling in.
All right, man. See ya.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Next caller, you're on with Pete. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
All right. How you doing? Who am I speaking with?
I'm speaking with Derek from Colorado. Big Clemson fan since I was probably 2 years old.
Hey, man. Well, you're just my kind of guy. Now, so what are you doing in Colorado?
I
mean, you don't
just
have
working and living.
Okay, I mean you don't have to give me like your life story or nothing. I'm just meaning like how if you're a Clemson fan, how did you end up in Colorado? Work.
Yeah, work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But
go ahead.
We lost 8 of our 12 top leading tacklers, I believe, this year on the defense.
Yeah.
I think that's right. How do you lose a guy like Christian Wilkins and Farrell? And how do you replace those guys? Not just what they did on the field, but in the locker room. I think that's going to be a huge void for the team. But just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I'm not as worried about it as a lot of people are. A lot of Clemson fans are. I think that we've been recruiting well, obviously, and a lot of these guys that are going to be starting this year, whether it's on the defensive line or anywhere on the defense. It's not going to be their first year. They were there when those guys that you just spoke about were there, so that they understand the culture, and I think that they're looking to carry the torch. And I mean, people like KJ Henry and Xavier Thomas, I mean, these guys are elite players, and so I don't think we're going to be lacking any sort of talent. I really actually believe that let's focus on the defensive line. I really think that these guys that are coming in on the defensive line are going to be just as talented as the guys we lost. They just are, like you said, they're going to lack the experience and the leadership. But I mean, if you look at the Clemson teams over the past 4 or 5 years, every year it seems like we lose players. Whether it's the good thing is we're in this sort of flux where it's like we lose a lot of players off of offense one year, and then the next year it's defense, and back and forth. It's never off the same side of the ball. So the one side of the ball always carries the torch, right? So this year, our offense is going to be, I believe, one of the best, if not the best, offenses in the country based on what we've got coming back. And they may carry the defense through the first couple of games, but I'm not so worried about the defense. I think by the end of the year, especially with the schedule we have, as long as we can get through those first few games, that will be just fine. And by the end of the year, they'll be plenty of experienced,
I read a rumor today. I don't know if it's true, but KJ Henry is possibly thinking about transferring. I don't know if that. I don't know if you've heard that or
no.
Is that even?
I haven't heard that, but no, you're the first that I've heard that from. I hope he doesn't. They redshirted him this year, and
they redshirted this year.
Yeah, they redshirted him this year. Xavier Thomas played a lot. I mean, he played almost every game, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But
he played.
I'd be surprised.
Well, too.
I'd be surprised if he transferred. Really, I mean, what would be the reason for it? I don't get that. Why would he not want to play in a Brent Venables defense when he's going to be? I mean, he will be
he's going to be
game wrecker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, anyways, that's awesome. I mean, the defense was so good. I mean, just incredible. Probably once in a lifetime kind of defense. And there's some big shoes to be filled for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But I think
it's good.
I think the good news is the back end of the defense, we're getting a lot back. We did lose, like Trayvon Mullen and some of those guys, but I think that the back end of our defense, which is normally the weakest part of our defense, might be stronger this coming year than it has been in a while. And so it's just really going to be up to the guys that come in and fill in for those defensive linemen that have left and see how they do, and a couple guys at linebacker. But I'm not too worried about it. I think that Clemson's in a place right now, just like Alabama, where they just reload, they don't rebuild, and so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. You get had those guys for 4 years, watch them play, and just watch them control the line of scrimmage. It's just gonna be different to have new bodies and new faces, and and I'm sure they'll be fine. And like you said earlier, the offense is definitely, they're probably going to be much better this year than they were this year. So even if the defense does lack, the offense will probably,
yeah, I mean,
keep rolling.
On offense, man, the only real key piece that we're losing is Renfro, and everybody else is coming back. I mean, we're losing Mitch Hyatt, a couple of offensive linemen, but we have, Jackson Carman coming in for him. And I mean, the offense is just going to be ridiculously good. So it's going to be a score fest. If anyone wants to beat Clemson, they're going to have to score 40 points or more to even think about beating them.
Yeah. That Texas A&M game is going to be a tough game for us. And then, like you said earlier, the first 3 games, not so much Georgia Tech, but A&M, Syracuse.
Yeah.
Back, that'll be a good test for them, so. Anyway, I just wanted to call in. I like your show, man, so keep it up.
I really appreciate you calling in, man. Make sure you call back another time, too, please.
I will. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you. Have a good night. Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, I'm not one to complain anyways, except for when I'm complaining, which is pretty much all the time. But we've just had... Well, how many calls have I had? 3 or 4 in a row, and every single one of the people that called had a point, made sense, articulated the point, had a conversation like a normal human being would do. I mean, I'm almost like in the Twilight Zone here. There's been 4 people call in that can actually have a human conversation. So thank you to all of you. I'm blown away by the intelligence of the Pigskin Pete viewers, which doesn't surprise me, by the way, because when you have the IQ that I have, which is very, very low, it's barely above mongrel, then everybody looks intelligent. But these guys tonight that have been calling in, I mean, they must have all went to Georgia Tech. I mean, that's how smart they are. Let's see. Before I get off the chat here, if I have time, let's see, about 9 minutes. If anybody else wants to call in before I get off, go ahead. Now's the time to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to shut it down here in a couple minutes. But let me see who's in the comment section here. Pete can take his family out to eat at a fancy restaurant now. Clemson Carson, by the way. Yes, tomorrow is my 12th wedding anniversary. That's right. February 2nd, 2007 is when I married my beautiful Mrs. Peete. And so we're going to go out for a fancy dinner tomorrow night. Anyway, I mean, whether Small Vol donated or not, we're still going to go out and have a fancy dinner. But yes, thank you, sir. Spring Hill says, go ahead and give Smallville the gift card. Yeah. I'm trying to catch up on about 30 minutes worth of comments here, so you have to bear with me. Sorry. Adult phone calls. Yes, vodka drinker. Actual people that can put sentences together without sounding like they're 12. Yeah, 12-year wedding anniversary, but a fun fact here, my wife and I we're high school sweethearts, so we've been together for over 20 years. We've been married for 12 years, but we've been together for over 20. So more than half of my life. So, and the fact that any woman would marry me, let alone put up with my crap, is amazing and fantastic. Believe me. I mean, I wouldn't marry me, but she did though. I married way above my head. All right, so I don't see anybody calling in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end the show. So here's the thing.
We are sorry, but the show has ended. Goodbye.
You heard that, didn't you? I've been summoned. Yeah, talk about giving it to you blunt. Damn, they just told me my show ended, didn't they? So what I'm going to do is, for everybody, thank you for coming in. Also, I will be live streaming. I don't know why I keep getting in this. I'm trying to go back to the YouTube page. I will be doing the live stream for the Super Bowl. I think the kickoff is at like 6:30, I think. So I'll start the stream on Super Bowl Sunday right around 6 or 6:15-ish. And so I hope you all show up for that. It should be a lot of fun. I'm going to eat a lot of food, especially Velveeta cheese dip with Rotel tomatoes. I don't know. I might get crazy and eat a piece of pizza or something too. Maybe some oysters. I don't know. Right after I go to Costco. But anyway, it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to drink a lot of beer too, by the way. So if you're planning on coming on my stream for the Super Bowl, make sure you, if you drink, make sure you have beer or I'll kick you right out of the stream. I mean, I'll ban you from YouTube for life. So make sure you have beer too. But seriously, come check me out on Super Bowl Sunday. And I think I'm going to root for the Patriots. Now, I've never rooted for the Patriots for anything in my life, ever. And so the thought of rooting for the Patriots makes me sick to my stomach. But I'm so sick of the NFL rigged as people talking about the Patriots winning every year that I almost want the Patriots to win just so I can go online for the next week or two after the Super Bowl and watch them all cry about the NFL being rigged and the Patriots paying the refs. It's completely out of selfishness that I want the Patriots to win just so I can see people cry about it. So, and by the way, I'm probably going to bet on the Patriots too, like real money. All right. Thank you all. You're all amazing. You're all fantastic. Everybody go check out Volunteer Roadshow. Thank you to Small Vol with the $100 super chat. Don J. Crawford coming through with a $2 super chat. Thanks to all the callers. Thank you all for being intelligent and not just telling me to lick your balls, like the last for the first two callers I had did, and they were amazing too. That's it. I mean, I've said it all. You said it all too. I love you. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete. Checking out.